Jared Love. Right now out on the track we have the Super Sports 600s, and it's a hot contested class. 207 points in the lead. In the lead in 207 points is Jake Lewis there on number 29. James Hugenbosom 176 points. Rogan Chandler on number 15 on the Yamaha, 117 points. Avalon Biddle on 111 points. Toby Summers on 109. So qualifying. Wow, I haven't caught up with this at this stage, but qualifying by just 0.04 of a second in the lead is Avalon Biddle. She's been on fire all season. Last year her best showing was here at Taupo, and she's capitalised on her strong strength during the year and the season, and on pole. Then it's Jake Lewis, and then it's David Hall on the Suzuki, and James Hugenbosom. They're off on their journey. And all down into turn one. We just need to pull the blind up there to see it. We've got the blind coming in for the start of the race meeting, but we're all right. There's the two triumphs here in second and fourth, and David Hall leads 34 from Te Awa Mutu. So it is, I think that's Jake Lewis there in second place. Hard to pick the colours with those two underground brown budget motorcycle spares, but Avalon Biddle in third place, Jared, and good showing for Avalon.
Very, very good showing in qualifying. She's unofficially under the lap record, and she's already turned up to do some business. She had a nice little go through there in turn 3 on Jake, and then had a nice little go around the outside down into the turn 5, and she's sitting in third position at the moment.
All right, they start to spread out. It still is a Suzuki of David Hall, then Jake Lewis, and then Avalon Biddle, and I'm pretty sure that's number 22, the Mad Love Media supported Carl Cox team member Toby Summers. He's had wins here in the 600s. Last year he raced a superbike, so was out of the picture in the 600 class and was going to retire from motorcycle racing. Even sell his tyre warmers out until the Carl Cox team come along and said, we need you, we've got a bike. But down that long straight there from west to east there's about 4 bike lanes. It's a braking duel into this flip-flop there, very, very difficult corner. The Triumph is trying up on the inside, doesn't quite get there. Avalon Biddle's closed up on that, and I think those two guys balked each other. There was maybe a bit of block passing going on, but something went on there, and that's allowed Avalon Biddle back into the mix there. She wasn't far off there, Jared.
Definite good battle. David Hall's got a great start like he has all season. He was going great over at Pyro, but the Underground Brown boys have turned up, and Avalon has definitely turned up this weekend, and she's looking pretty good for at least a podium, but she wants to win it here.
So as they go into turn 5 here at Taupo Motorsport Park, and David Hall's got a break of about 8 bike lengths, and then it is Jake Lewis, Avalon Biddle, Toby Summers. We go back to James Hugenbosom, and then number 14, I think he's running number 14, Jaden Hassan, the New Zealand Superbike champion from a couple of seasons ago. And there's an MV Augusta up there as well, the MV Augusta Dale Finch. This is a strong showing for Dale Finch there on the number 77 machine, so he's up there in the top 10. Not done much road racing, a dirt track background, but made his first appearance in the New Zealand Superbike Championships from my memory last weekend with the Team Helicraft MV Augusta, and absolutely special to have that bike here, one of the sweetest sounding bikes at the paddock there. John Dyson there, you keeping an eye on the times possibly, or what's your view at the moment?
Well, David Hall looks pretty strong out there. He's put in the fastest lap, but I'm sure he's going to come under a serious challenge from Jake, which looks like is happening right now into that final last chicane. Just managing to hold him off there, but Jake will be coming on stronger later on in the race, I feel.
Here comes Toby Summers in 4th spot there. He's right on the tail of the Kawasaki mounted MTF finance sponsored Avalon Biddle there, so pretty well matching speeds, a little bit of a differential. Here we go. David Hall runs wide, but I think he was dived up on the inside anyway by number 29, Jake Lewis there, so I think that was a bit of a Jake had the corner there, and David went back to 3rd place. So that's now Jake Lewis, 29, Avalon Biddle on the 21 machine, David Hall, 34, and Toby Summers, and then the Suzuki of 14, and that is Jaden Hassan. He had trouble at the last round with his front end, and he's very, very strong on the front end. So, in fact, no, I lie there, tell a lie. It is James Hugenbosom in 5th, and then it is number 14, Jaden Hassan. Let's have a look at the timing to see where they were on the last lap. Rogan Chandler on the Yamaha, the fastest of the Yamahas. Dale Finch, I mentioned on the MV Augusta in 8th place. Ashton Hughes, after missing out on most of last weekend, round due to a crash and a sore leg. And number 92, Ashton Hughes, originally from Greymouth there in 9th spot. Then we go to Roman Rajek. Mate, good to see Roman Rajek with the 64 machine back at the track, a local man. Nathan Jane is back here after injury as well. He broke himself in the Suzuki Series at Manfield, so I think he's missed most of the round of the New Zealand Championships. You'll have to apologise. I did not keep up with everything last weekend. I wasn't commentating, so I have my eye on a few different things at the paddock. So Nathan Jane, Jesse Wickie, Dave Fellows, John Crawford and Gary Morgan. On to the front straight again here, Jared.
Looks like a little bit of a gap there. Jake has definitely got that Triumph 675 really coming down the corners real hard. Oh, as I say that, he's gone a little bit too deep, and Av is just onto the back of him. Avalon was slightly faster. There was nothing in it between the two of them in qualifying. Of course, it's boyfriend and girlfriend. So I don't know about the bragging rights with this one. I don't know how that one will just sort of turn out, who wins this one.
Oh, there's a couple out there, to be fair. We're not supposed to be in a sexist world these days, but there is a couple out there. They're still pretty strong. Bit of a moment there for Jake Lewis there. You saw that, Jared? What happened there?
He definitely lost the rear coming out of 5, had a big squiggle, and it looked like it almost shut down for a little bit, but it's allowed Avalon into first place, and David Hall's recovered after that great start, and he's going to, he's coming right under attack now from Jake Lewis.
A big squig, that sounds like some sort of an ice cream, but it's part of your terminology, and it's great to have J-Rod on board as well as John Dyson here as well, part of the JDAS photography team. Okay, looking at lap records, we went under it in qualifying. That does not count. 1:32.44, so we've got a 1:34.32 for Jake Lewis, a 1:39.41 for Avalon Biddle. So if he keeps on stringing times like this together, he's over half a second quicker. He just can't afford to make mistakes, as is nobody in this class or any class during the day. But right now, it's all about the championship. Avalon sits in 4th, and Jake Lewis there sits in the 1st position. So he'll be riding with his head. He wants to have a win. He wants to get ahead of his girlfriend. I won't say beat, but well, beat her on the track, you know, that's all right. But he wants to stay in front, and such a well-prepared bike by the MTF team there. Mate, Chris Osborne prepares this bike. That guy is fastidious with everything. If he wanted to find out how to wash your clothes white, he'd join the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, to find out how they get their clothes so white. That's how much he'll do just to find out that bit of information. But right now, he's wearing yellow and the team's wearing yellow. The MTF Finance coloured Kawasaki Spectrum motorcycle supporter machine still out in the front, Jared.
Jake, he's rolling in a little bit. He's sort of sizing Avalon up. He's onto the back of her. He's picking her up a little bit into 1 and 6 that I can sort of see. And that Triumph has definitely got some big mumbo down the back chute, so this is not over by any means.
So, John, you know a bit about the differentials. We've got a 600 Super Sport class out here, but of course we've got 675s. You like to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, the Triumph is a 675, but it's a triple, so that's why it has that distinctive engine note. So the rules allow for the slightly bigger engine, and with it being a triple, it's got a bit more torque, a bit more punch off the corners, as same with the NV Augusta that our friend Dale Finch is running in the Helicraft team. That two beautiful sounding bikes. Oh
yeah, so and we go back to somewhere like the World Superbike Championships when they first originated in New Zealand in 1988. We had the 750cc 4s. They were allowed 900cc triples, but no one chose to run a bike like that, and 1000cc twins, and it's all about the change of thing. Change of position up the front. Jake Lewis goes in on turn 1, but Avalon comes back. He went a little bit wide. They almost touchy, almost like a Labour Party junior camp, actually. Too much touching there, apparently, but David Hall is now right onto it, and there was less than half a wheel in it. In behind Avalon there as they come out of turn 3 into turn 4. They're in turn 5 here at the Bruce McLaren Motorsport Park, and how many laps are we down here? 5 laps to go. I think it was an 8-lap race. I didn't quite catch up with that. That's in the beginning of our program, but right now we go over to it's a 10-lap race. Thank you, Mr. Dyson. Good thing he's got 10 fingers. He can show us all that. What's going to happen in a 15-lap race? How many fingers are you going to have to hold up? We won't worry about that, eh, John?
I'll have to wave one hand twice, I think, at you.
All right, we'll work that out. That's a bit of a break there for somebody, Jared.
Bit of a change there. David Hall slid up into second place on Avi, but she's fought back over there in the A1 GP corner, and it looks like Jake is out in front. Lap time wise, he's just popped in Jake Lewis there, he's popped in a 30.6, so we're just off lap record pace. So all the lap times this morning in qualifying, it's showing that track conditions are absolute perfect, and I think a lot of lap records are going to fall away this weekend.
The top 3 in the 130 mark. We've got a 130.874 for David Hall, a 136.09 for Jake Lewis and a 1:30.949. That's in the last lap. I think we've still got the best times there. Yes, that's how it sits there. Down into turn one. And here we go. Oh, a bit of a back end slide there.
Jake's definitely backing it into one, and that's where he got past Avi. But now the rest of them have tightened up, and it's going to be a real good little dust up at the end of this race.
Don't forget Toby Summers sitting there in 4th place. This man's a hard charger, been around for a lot of years, and never likes to finish anywhere but first. He's never a happy man unless he gets anywhere but first. But right now he's in a good solid 4th spot. And there we have James Hugenboosum, who had a fairly dream run down south with a lot of wins there, but he had a lot of lower positions last weekend, of course, with Jake Lewis being pretty much dominant there with 3 25-point scores at Hampton Downs at the Hampton Downs Motor Fest, and also 1 point for pole position. He jumped into the lead, so James Hugenboosum's been around for a lot of years. He still wants to get further up there. The top 5 have broken away. So in 6th place, we've still got Jaden Hassan, bit of a lonely ride. Rogan Chandler, Ashton Hughes, Dale Finch is in 9th. He's gone ahead of Roman Rajek. He's gone ahead of Nathan Jane. Roman Rajek on the 64 machine there in 11th place, the Honda CBR 600. Is that the only Honda out there, Jared?
I think so, yeah. Now with Damo going up onto the Superbike, and of course he's over in Australia doing the Australian Road Racing Championships this weekend. But look at how fast the pack is. We've got Jaden Hassan, former New Zealand Superbike champion, sitting back in 6th place. So, and they're on lap record pace. So it's showing the calibre of the riders today here.
Yeah, and of course he's referring by Damo, he's referring to Damon Rees, last year's New Zealand Supersport 600 champion. We're keeping an eye on him racing in Australia this weekend, hope to get results. One thing I have tried to arrange at the track for tomorrow morning is the Daytona 200 race in Florida, where we've got Shane Richardson normally out there in this class, and has won here and set lap records here at Taupo. He's contesting in that, so that will be screened about 6:30 in the morning. I am trying to check up the technology and wait for confirmation that is happening. So, right, they're starting to spread out, but they're still in a consistent spread there. It is coming out of turn 7 into turn 8. Jake Lewis on the budget motorcycle spares, Underground Brown, Triumph 675. Then we've got Avalon Biddle on the 600 Kawasaki. We go back, that's probably 30 metres. Then we go back about 40 metres to David Hall from Te Awamutu, about 15 metres back to Toby Summers. Toby Summers won a race here in the Suzuki Series as well, did he not? Did he, or was it Shane Richardson? But Toby's got the ability to win on this track. Not quite as on fire as he can be here, so maybe he'll be a stronger threat tomorrow. And then, of course, we go back to 5th place, and it is James Hugenboosum on the number 85 machine. Down that long straight there. Got any betting money there, John Dyson?
At this moment in time, my money will be on Jake Lewis. I think he's looking strong out the front. He's managing the gap back to Avalon Biddle. She looked like she was tying back up into the pack earlier, but she's come on strong now, and maybe she will challenge for the win.
All right, let's have a look at the last lap time there.
30.2 there, Scooter. So she's almost on lap record pace. I thought he was going to run away, but Avalon has responded, and he's not going to ride away from this one.
30.264, so 20,000 off it. So in that last lap, she was 0.7 of a second quicker than Jake Lewis there in the out in the front there. 600 Supersport action brought to you by Spectrum Motorcycles and Motor Trade Finance, MTF Finance, and that is here at the Taupo Bruce McLaren Motorsport Park. Great track, great view, great weather. We've got a slight southerly which is going across the track. It's just enough to keep the flags up, so I don't think that's going to affect lap times. I haven't checked the weather forecast tomorrow in terms of wind, but I think we're all right there. We don't even have to worry about it. We're here at the track. We can see some lap boards going out along the front straight. Remember, folks, you're not allowed to wear open-toed shoes in the pits. It's all about if something catches fire or whatever, and you need to be able to run away from something or towards something or whatever. So open-toed shoes are not allowed in the pits. Down this long straight, white flag is out. Oh, the white flag is out. The last lap. Okay. Oh, 3 by 2. David Hall's in the mix, and Jake Lewis runs very, very wide and goes off to the ripple strap. It's a lapper. Oh, sorry, it's a lapper. All right, it is 29, Jake Lewis, followed by David. That is David Hall in there. And I
think there was a lapper.
Oh, sorry, the white flag is now out. Yes, there is a lapper amongst there, but David Hall's back up there in second place. So,
unfortunately, Avi caught the bad one of that. Jake went down, tried to go around the outside of the lapper, and Avi tried to go around the inside. And yeah, then David Hall actually sneaked through there. So he's the benefit of this. But let's see what Avalon. She's got 1 lap to do it, and they're all pretty close.
Yeah, they're all pretty close. So that is Jake Lewis there on 29 out in the front. They're heading into turn 7 here. The hairpin at Taupo. David Hall's about 6 bike lengths, 2 bike lengths back to Avalon Biddle on the MTF machine. We go back about 40 metres, and that is number 22, Toby Summers, and then James Hugenboozem. All right close now. The battle is on for second. This is the minor money from for the podium. It is David Hall. He had a crash at, while in second place, I think, at Timaru. Also, I think he had a crash down at Ruapuna. He was the main threat to the championship. Talking to Tony Brown from Underground Brown, he said that Suzuki's the main threat at the moment. But I'll tell you what, Avalon Biddle's still on fire. There is 31 points separating first and second in the championship, so it will not be decided. We're going to see some championships fall. They're coming into the chicane here, onto the front, straight off the front, straight, long straight. Side straight, whatever it is, they're all coming into the last corner here. The checkered flag's coming out, already waving around. It is Jacob Lewis there, David Hall, and Avalon Biddle, followed by Toby Summers. Almost got pipped by James Hugenboozem. What was the split there? The split was 0.1 of a second. So the lead was by 0.9 of a second. So that's it. Jacob Lewis, David Hall, Avalon Biddle, Toby Summers, James Hugenboozem, Rogan Chandler, Jaden Hassan, and who else we got to go? We're waiting for some more coming across the thing. And that is number 92, Ashton Hughes, comes through there. And we're expecting 77, Dale Finch. Just going to check our timing delay here. There might be a timing delay, so we want to make sure that's... No, it's actually instant at the moment. So 77, Dale Finch gets a better result than last weekend. In behind him, it is Nathan Jane on the number 97 machine. The R&R Power Sports 600 there. Jesse Wickie goes through there. Jesse, a strong charger on 47. Looking off into the distance, I think we're looking down that long straight. In fact, no, we're looking onto the front straight now. Coming round onto the front straight. And it is David Fellows with Invercargill's John Crawford, number 16. So just to finish now, we've had Tom Langridge. He's that man.